What is up, Watch fam? Happy Monday, and welcome to this week's episode of RANT&H. I am Christian from Theo and Harris, and today I'll be talking about why the Lange One is so damn important. All right, before we jump into Lange, a quick wristwatch check. I am wearing Anna, our editor's pole rider by Universal Genève. It was designed by Gerald Genta when he was very young, something like his early 20s, and it got it paired here beautifully with a Jean Rousseau Sark strap, blue alligator, lined in yellow. Really, I don't know. I love wearing it. It's one of the most. Don't even take my word for it. I mean, you're listening to me, right? So you either will or will not take my word for it. But the client testimonials, which we really should be posting on the website, it's a huge loss that we don't, are incredible. You can't compare these straps to our big competitors. They're really not even close. Just the other day, right? Was I with you or with my dad? When I had the Type 1 next to a competitor's Type 1? Oh, that's cute. It was one of those. And we looked at the Type 1 and just said, yeah, that's a strap. So anyway, enough self-promotion. They are all for sale. 5 different straps, I think, right? We're up to 5. Our 5 different collaborations with Atelier Jean Rousseau are live in the watch shop. The strap shop at Theo and Harris. Anyway, what is new at T&H real quick? Our resident watch geek writer, Logan Hannon, just published an article, a very important lesson or group of lessons that I think I hope a lot of people follow, but I highly doubt it. The link is in our description. Okay, let's talk about the Lange One. What is it? It was released in 1994 by the, in one way, brand new German watch manufacturer Lange Sohne. It is very easily recognized by its asymmetrical, but yet so beautifully balanced dial, which features a very interesting and almost proprietarily Lange big date window. That's the Lange One. And any watch that even tries to go near copying that is copying the Lange One, which you can't really say about most other, even equally as famous watches. This design and almost anything like it is distinctly ALS, and I think that is awesome. And it being arguably the most famous Lange, maybe next to the Datograph, the Lange One has made that classic A. Lange Sohne movement architecture so famous. 3/4 German silver plate, hand-engraved balance cock. It's probably one of the most Instagrammable movements in the world. So yes, if you couldn't tell already, it's a great watch, but it's also so much more. Let's talk about that. The company was founded in the mid-19th century by Ferdinand Lange. And by the time the early 20th century hit, the manufacturer had already become world-renowned for hot complications. And as we all know, in the 1930s, some of the most important people in the world became the Third Reich. Yup, Hitler loved Lange. And genocide. Fuck him. It was literally one of the most amazing brands the leader of the Nazi party could ever imagine and give to someone. And although that's awful, and again, fuck Nazis, but that does say a lot about the quality of the watch. But after massive government intervention, which, as far as Nazis are concerned, basically just means destruction, Lange died. The brand, after being stripped of basically everything that made them Lange, was put out of its misery under the Second World War. Until this. Fast forward 50 years later, and Ferdinand's great-grandson, Walter, relaunched the German manufacture. This is in 1994. It was with 4 watches: the Arcade, the Saxonia, the Tourbillon, and, you guessed it, the Lange One. That is cool. To be Walter, to be prideful, strong, and intelligent enough to resurrect your grandfather's, pride and joy, which wasn't, some well-organized, shed in the back. It was a world-renowned watch manufacturer, which has been dead for, at this point, 50 years, and as no young man himself, Walter, at the time. I mean, that to me is incredible. Okay, so I digress. Back into the watch. Originally, it measured at 38.5 millimeters in diameter, 10 millimeters in thickness, and believe it or not, a closed caseback. which, if you are even vaguely familiar with the beauty of Lange movements, is nuts. And since its introduction in 1994, the Lange one has remained relatively unchanged. I mean, I went through all the changes, and don't get me wrong, there are dozens of changes, but they're all minor improvements, right? That cost hundreds of thousands, probably millions upon millions of dollars, realistically, to design and then implement for something that most people would never even notice. A millimeter in difference in size, a little luminous track, or a slight change to a dial. I mean, but to me, putting so much time and money and everything into development of a slightly different version of the same watch just shows how proud Lange is. That they're a big and I'm sure profitable company, but it's not just about the cold hard, dollars and cents as it is with so many other manufacturers. This is about the watch, which is, in my opinion, the reason that so many Lange fans are almost unwavering. They're Lange fans. They would never consider trading in their 1815 chronograph, for a Vacheron Historiques. They just wouldn't. And it's not just about the watch itself. It's about the company ethos. And really no watch demonstrates that better than this watch. The watch that resurrected one of the world's best companies in so many ways, Lange Sohne. So props to Walter Lange. Watch geeks will forever, whether Lange fan or not, be both indebted to you, for the work you've put into this community, and will always live in a watch world that has been so affected by that work, whether we like it or not. So thank you, Walter Lange, and thank you guys for watching this episode of RANT&H. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to our channel at Theo and Harris if you like more geeky videos like this. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow for all of the new watches hitting the watch shop at theoandharris.com.